listening to Mr. King.
We knew they had a good team. They were number 21 ranked team in FCS football in the top 25, and so we knew we would have our hands full, and we competed. We played very well in the first half, and again this week it was 7-3 at halftime, and the defense was playing great, and offense kind of sputtered. We moved the ball at will. We only punted the ball one time in the first half, and and when we got down to the red zone and got close, we would make a mistake, shoot ourselves in the foot, and cost us. And I wasn't able to take advantage of field position. They got the opening kickoff, took it. They got a first down, got to midfield, and they went for it on fourth down. And we got a big stop right there at midfield and come out, and we run the ball and get a personal foul, back us up 15 yards and kill that drive. And we should have taken advantage of that opportunity and take that ball down and get some points out of it, and we didn't. And that's kind of the way we played the game on offense. We just, every time we had an opportunity, we would do something to shoot ourselves in the foot. And great matchup. I mean, we're in conference play now. Every week it's gonna be exciting, competitive games, and I don't see this one being any different. We all know how hard it is to go down to Dope Stadium and win in Tallahassee. And then you got Coach Simmons always doing a great job. His team's always prepared. They're gonna play hard. And then they got that 12th man, that crowd, and of course they got the band. So we got to go out. We got to go down and play well this week. All three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. And it's gonna be tough, but we look forward to the challenge. And I think it's gonna be a great football game.
Yeah, so I think we did a good job of winning the bye week, and I say that because you can lose it. I feel like. Did a good job of getting everybody healthy, made sure everybody caught up on academics. Of course, that's a big part of it. Did some community service. So it was good just to try to correct all the mistakes that we've been having over the last couple of weeks, try not to be predictable and those type of things. So I thought it was a good week as far as, getting the kids back enthused and coaches recharged and everything like that. This week we have Prairie View coming to play 5 p.m. kickoff. So it should be real exciting. Our first SWAC game of the year, and it's at home. So that should be a really big deal. Know Coach McDowell, Bubba, really good, and know he'll have his team ready to play. So it's going to be a big challenge for us to get the crowd going and to play well at home. Yeah, I think it's crucial. I don't think you have a lot of margin for error in the conference, especially in the East. I mean, you see the teams that are up there and playing well. And so for us, and plus it's a home game too. So to have that first conference game at home is real big. You have goals or inspirations to try to win the East like we do. It's just imperative that we get off to a good start. So that's the emphasis to the kids. Just realizing the big picture. You don't want to fall behind right off the rip. So good time to get it going at a home game.
It was a great venue down at Cowboy Stadium down in Lake Charles, man. It was great. Guys came out and played extremely hard against this good football team. I think Coach Goff had those guys ready to play in terms of what they did, offensive, defensive, special teams. But I credit my coaching staff and these young men that we coach each and every day through the week of going out and pouring their heart into it and playing extremely hard. We forced 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, capitalized on some of the mistakes they made. The guys played extremely hard. I mean, it was a tough fought battle there. We get the ball, we kick off we get to receive the ball, they make a stop. We get the ball and they stop us, and it was a scoreless game going into the second quarter. Then we scored, put us up 7-0. We get the ball back and score again, put us up 14-0, 21-0 before they even knew it. They get a field goal right there before the half, going into the third quarter. Come back at halftime and give up open half touchdown. But the guys played very hard. I'm very proud of these guys. They bounced back from very tough loss against Tulane and came out and competed very well. And offense and defense, we put it all together as a team. Special team, my hats goes off to our kicker, Kiani. Did a great job for us in the kicking and the punting game. Our special team was tremendous this week. Just kind of fought the whole game, and I did a great job of competing. All the effort and everything was there with this team. So I'm very proud of what they did against this non-conference McNeese State football program. Receiver working hard and getting open versus man-on-man coverage. We knew we was going to get a lot against McNeese State. But just giving those guys a chance to compete for those balls in the air like that means a whole lot, because my biggest thing is I hate to see a ball thrown out of bounds, and I hate to see a receiver overthrown 5 or 10 yards. So just give them a chance, put it on top of the head, and let them work for it. We got great receivers here in this core receiver we have, and we just need to give them a chance. I thought Aaron did a great job of giving these guys a chance to make plays for him. You know, it's not all about, you know, he don't have to make the perfect throw or anything of that nature. You know, just come out and compete. Just give them a chance. You know, just get it close to them, and they'll work for you. And I think he's trusting them now in terms of receiver quarterback continuity and things that they have to do to work. So we had some big plays. We had some pass interference call for us, and it was great to see our guys compete for football. Biggest thing is they got dynamic players. You know, they got Skylar Perry. He's going to throw the ball around the yard. So got a great running back in Brighton, and he's going to run the ball very hard. You know, so those are the things that we have to compete for. You know, we had a tough outing last year against them, and we had to really work hard and compete. You know, Doc Gamma going to have those guys ready to play. You know, just from the outcome of what we did last year, of coming back and fighting. You know, I think the biggest turnaround that we have this year is we got more depth than we had last year up front. So that's going to be a big difference in the things that we do in terms of this football program. I think that we did a great job of going out and addressing the positions that we needed to address in terms of getting more depth for our team. And I think we did a great job on defense and the defensive front. You know, of course, the linebackers too, of getting more depth those positions that we needed in terms of rotating guys in and out, getting them some blows, giving them some rest. So, you know, Doc gonna have these guys ready to play. We got a tough out in front of us. They got a great defense. Do a lot of things on defense. They create problems, you know. But we just got to be prepared this week as a team. And like I told the team last week, you know, it's all about us. You know, it's all about Alcorn State brand of football and how we play. You know, I mean, these states have always been a program that always make the playoffs in years past. So, you know, you're looking at one of the top FCS football teams that always competing in the playoffs. And the biggest thing is, you know, we played them 2 years, and we lost to them by 3 1 year down there, and then we lost to them by 7 here 1 year. So, you know, it's almost right there. And I think it's about broken now to where we're competing on the same level as those national FCS team. You take Stephen F. Austin. Right now, we could easily be sitting at 2-1 instead of 1-2. You know, the competition that we have and the brand of football players that we go out and recruit is kind of equal up to the same level of those playoff teams that make the playoffs. So you take a Southeastern Louisiana that played Florida A&M last year with the talent they have. You know, us being able to compete, you know, against those playoff teams. Now that we have an opportunity to put teams in the playoff and also a team to go into the Celebration Bowl, it means a lot to this conference. You know, you get that large bid in the conference to go to the playoffs, and now you got one team in a bowl game. So those things that really matter to the programs, for the schools, and it really matters to the players. You know, just having an opportunity to play against those type of teams that always make the playoff each and every year. I mean, 1 year in 12 we went up to James Madison and competed against James Madison. You know, those type of teams that really makes you better and makes you compete harder. You learn a lot of things from them, and you learn a lot of the character of your players as well. So it means a lot when you get a chance to play teams like that, and being able to compete and get wins from them, you know. So
bye week was, I think, good for us. We had 2 tough losses, and just trying to figure some guys out around here, have a few new guys in our program. So we were able to get back to basics, go back to square one, and fix a lot of little things that we had going on, which was, great for us. I thought we needed the time to recap those first 2 games and kind of get back to who we are. So we had time to get guys healed up with some, bumps and bruises, and also kind of slow things down and fix a lot of little things we had going on. As far as our opponent coming up this week, regardless of the game they played on Saturday, it's a really talented Grambling football team coming in here. We know that. You can see it on film with everyone that they played. They have a lot of weapons in a lot of different areas, and we're going to have to make sure that we bring our A game to be able to have an opportunity to win this game. If you look at the quarterback, they have a couple of dynamic quarterbacks. They have some really, really talented receivers, and I think their backs are really, really solid runners. They have guys that try and be explosive every time they touch the football. They have a very active defense, 2 defensive ends, I think, that could probably play anywhere. They do a great job at what they do. So we have, our work cut out for us, but looking forward to it. Right. And I think, the first thing, defense one-on-one, if you're going to stop the run, you have to make sure that your gap sound. We have to make sure the guys that are supposed to be in the A gap are in the A gap, and the guys that are supposed to be in the B gap, they're in the B gap. And we're not getting washed past our gaps. We're not spinning out of our gaps. We're not playing out of our gaps. So that's number one. They do have a good ground game, and we have to make sure that we're gap sound to give ourselves a chance to stop the run. I think, we handle the transfer portal as it comes. We're not going to live in there. I think you still have to have a base for your football team and have some student athletes that you actually recruit and grow into your program. And I know a lot of folks say, well, a lot of coaches don't have that time. I don't think any of us have that time, but I still think you have to have some guys in your program that are not transfer portal guys. Some guys that you actually groom and grow in your program. We have a few guys with NIL deals, and I really leave that up to our compliance folks and the student athlete. As long as I'm made aware of it, I don't really get too in depth and too involved in that, because it can get hairy at times. But we've used the transfer portal. It's been good to us when we used it. We've gotten some quality guys out of there, and some guys that we're looking to make a difference for us here when we hit conference play.
Yeah, I thought the bye came at a really good time. We had 3 really tough weeks, mentally and physically. So gave our guys a chance to just kind of get centered a little bit. Came off our first win of the season the week before, so was able to ride that momentum into the bye week. Had a great week of practice, we felt. We're able to rest some guys and get them closer to being able to play this coming week. We know we are back in conference play against a feisty Alabama A&M team that is playing, better every single week. And so got to be ready to play, ready for a 4-quarter football game. Got to have a great week of preparation. And these guys are recharged, and I had a great practice yesterday and got to stack a few more together before the Bulldogs come to town, and hope to continue our home winning streak here, Brad. Well, you've seen a team that's playing better every single week. They played 3 really tough opponents. UAB is one of the top teams in Conference USA. Troy, obviously, doing some great things there. And Austin Peay is a really good FCS program. And so you see defensively, they're getting stronger every week, giving up less points. They play extremely hard. They're all over the place as far as where they come from defensively. So you definitely have to be ready to pick up various pressures. They're going to challenge you, getting your face to play man-to-man. And for us, that's kind of been our Achilles heel so far this season, just being able to win those one-on-one. So it's a great challenge for our wide receiver core to see if we can create separation at the line of scrimmage. For the O-line, to see if we can pick up their multiple pressures and protect the quarterback. And then for Jeremy to see if he can be accurate with the football. And so we definitely have a challenge on that side of the ball. And then their offense, obviously, when you lose a player like a Quill Glass, it takes you a little bit of time to figure out who you're going to be identity-wise. I think they're getting closer to that. And so obviously our defense has our hands full to make sure that they don't find that identity against us this weekend. So all in all, it should be, again, a really great matchup. Two well-coached football teams, two teams that, still have a lot to play for, and should be a great one. We're still waiting on a few guys to be, cleared. As far as health goes, no new injuries. Still have a few guys banged up from the Albany State game. Running back, we're a little bit wounded right now. Everywhere else, we should be in pretty good shape, So hopefully we can get a few of those guys back. We're obviously going to need to run the football this week to be successful. But aside from the running back group being pretty banged up, we think we're pretty deep everywhere else.
Thank you, sir. Have a blessed week.
Thanks, James.
Next question goes to Zach McKinnell.
Well, Isaiah's a guy that brings a lot of tenacity to the defensive linebacker core. He's a very fast individual, very instinctive, and plays sideline to sideline. So he's made a ton of plays for us, and we're going to need him to continue to play at a high level as we get into conference play. Obviously, the competition gets a lot stiffer, and teams have a lot more familiarity with one another, being that we played each other every year. So we got 3 games on film now that teams can scout him and game plan for him. And so he's got to continue to play at a high level. But right now he's playing really good football for us. Well, obviously, you game plan for the scheme, and then you try to get a good beat for what they're doing schematically when each guy's in the game. Coach Taylor does a really good job offensively for them. Has so for a really long time. And so I think it's only a matter of time before they figure out, who their guy is and what to do with that individual, at the quarterback position. So we'll have to be ready for a little bit of everything. We know where our stress points are with the calls that we make, and they're going to try to attack those. So whichever quarterback's playing, I think the job for our defense is to know where we're vulnerable and try to make sure that we take care of those vulnerabilities and don't give up big plays. We want to take what the defense gives us. If they're going to load the box and try to take away the run, we'll have to be able to win our one-on-ones outside. If they're going to play coverage and try to neutralize the passing game, we'll have to be able to get a hat on the hat and get the ball to the second and third levels, and then allow our running backs to be dynamic against the unblocked defender. And so for us, it's about, again, quarterbacks making the right decision with the ball. It's a read option offense, so he's got to read the defense and make the right decision with it. And if that's the case, then we should be able to effectively move the ball up and down the field if we win those one-on-one matchups. When we get matched up against the safety with a running back, we got to make that guy miss. If we get one-on-one matchups outside, we got to be able to create separation with our route running and get the ball thrown in time and complete passes. So it's not a complicated game. We make it complicated a lot of times, but it's that simple. They load the box. We have to throw the ball when our matchups outside. If they play coverage, got to be able to get a hat on the hat, with the front and get the ball to the second and third level, and then the running back's got to be dynamic. And so that'll be our game plan. And if we can execute that, we like our chances. Well, he's the one constant, right? You talk about a Quill Glass being gone. They lost some dynamic players from out wide last season. But again, he's that constant. He and Ibram. And so again, you got to know where those two guys are. And if they can get the run game going, that obviously opens things up, for their offense. So we'll have to be great against the run. He's one of the top running backs in the conference. And so we definitely have to try to do our best job to tackle well, get 11 hands to the ball, and, not allow him to have an explosive game.
And Jackson State had a lot to do with that. They played extremely well in the second half. We thought we fought them hard in the first half and just didn't hold on and be strong in the second half, didn't finish well enough. So we know we have some work to do. That game really showed us where we were and where we need to get to. And again, it's another loss that we earned. So we're looking for an opportunity to play again this weekend. Well, I thought our guy had a chance to make some plays early, and Maurice did. As you mentioned, Rash made some catches there as well. And Q Hawkins was able to distribute the ball. But obviously we wasn't able to keep that going throughout the game. But the first half was kind of the way we like to play. We like to be able to mix it up with the run and pass. But we got to be able to continue to do that consistently throughout 4 quarters of a game. We saw it for the first half to be 21-17 with that team, which I think is a really outstanding football team. We need to continue to grow and get better. And I think to a man, we understand that. So I think it's pretty simple. You know, you got to make sure that you finish games as much as you can. I think every coach is looking to do that. And we just got to do it better than what we did it this past week. You know, that's just what it is. At the end of the day, we got to play good pass defense, good run defense, and we have to do that better than what we have. So we need to improve that way. And I think we're looking forward to doing that. I didn't hear anything about the fan. I did hear about the fans because we had several parents there, and I know there was some issues with water and people trying to be in a situation where they could be a little bit cooler. But you know, that's understandable. It was a nice hot day, football day, and that's what we all look forward to. So I don't know what went on with the concession stands or anything like that, but I just know that there were some parents that I think experienced some issues that way. Well, I mean, again, it was, you know, the tale of two halves, right? First half looked like a really good football game. Second half, they played extremely well and we didn't. So what we do is make it very transparent and tell our guys what we need to do to make sure that we finish better. We felt like we were right there and competing and doing some good things in the first half, and we fell off. So I, as the head coach, have to look and see why. We as assistants all are trying to do that. And then the players have to own up to those things and make sure that we get better at finishing games better. What I think is that we're into our first year. They're into their third year. So when you play in a conference, you start to see what you need to compete at a high level. And that game showed me exactly where we need to go. So I'm not going to talk about it, whether they had more talent or did or didn't. I don't think that's what matters. What matters is I now and my staff, we have a different opinion of what we need to do as we move forward. And hopefully by year 3, we'll be as dominant as anybody in the conference.
Being a high profile head football coach, yesterday, another high profile head African-American male football coach became available. Any possibilities that you have started a trend and we could possibly see Herm Edwards coaching in the SWAC one day?
You never know. Herm is a terrific coach, a great man. And obviously, if he wants to coach, I think he can coach anywhere that he would like. But boy, it'd be great to have him in the SWAC.
Jackson State University and Mississippi Valley and the history of it and what this means, the importance in the Magnolia State. Just talk a little bit about this game, and you can see it from both sides.
Oh man, it's been a game that you know, everybody look forward to every year. You know, just the magnitude of the game. You know, whether you know Jackson win or whether Mississippi Valley win, every year in and year out, it's just the magnitude of the game by the fans. It's an in-state rival game, and you know everybody want to be state champions. So yeah, it's going to be a exciting game. You know, of course this week was not a great showing for us. I'm disappointed for our university, but also disappointed for our conference, because you always want to represent our conference once you step out on the football field. But this week we got a chance to redeem ourselves. I think all the records out the window when this game is played. And so we just got to go out and put on a better performance against a great football team,
In closing, the hostile environment, again, you know it because you played there, but talk about going in, you're bringing your guys down 49 or 55. You're going into Jackson, but just talk a little bit about what you expect and Coach Prime and the guys. And it's got everything that everybody wants in Mississippi.
I mean, like I tell these guys all the time, this is what you play football for. This is why you play in this conference. You want to play against the best. And right now they are one of the best teams out there in FCS football, all of college football right now. And you should want this, the magnitude of the crowd, the excitement, the electric fans. This is what you play football for, this type of atmosphere. You know, this is why you wanted to come to Mississippi Valley. This is why you wanted to play Division I football. A lot of guys that we brought in, of course, are transfers. So this is why they came here. They want to play against the best, compete against the best. And right now you would be going against the best this weekend. And with of course, everybody can see that they have gotten better since last year. This is not the same football team. It's a different football team, and I think, at the quarterback led by Shadur Sanders, he's been incredible this year. I think he's thrown over close to 60, 70 passes with no interception.
No interception.
So, he's been remarkable, but also not being able to throw the ball. He's been able to hurt people with his legs this year, something that he didn't do a lot of last year. And he's been able to run the ball. I think he has like 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns on the year right now. So, we got our hands full with these young men. But, I don't think, the rivalry has anything to do with it. I just think it's just an in-state game that the guys get hyped about. And like I said, our records are out the window right now. We just got to come out and play ball like we know we can, and we got to play hard and fast for 60 minutes and just let the chips fall where they may.
Coach, I was concerned about, are you concerned about the 1 o'clock start? I know that's in the heat of the day. I know Grambling band and fans had issues with that, some people passing out and everything. Are you concerned about that 1 o'clock start?
No, sir. It get hot in the Delta, so I think we'll be prepared for it. Of course, it's going to be in the heat of the day, but at the end, we practice in it. We start practice at 3 o'clock, so it's still a little hot and humid during our practice. So we'll be practicing prepared for the heat.
Sure. First of all, I'm very proud of these young men. We had these guys go through some adversity, things that was out of our control throughout the whole game day preparation. And, as I told them, we only can control the things that we can control. Don't worry about the things we can't control. The only thing that we could control was on the field, going out playing against a really good football team that was coming in here to try to score a lot of points. A team that was used to scoring a lot of points, previous games. So, and like I said, I'm just very proud of these guys, the way they came out, let the bad stuff get away from their minds and clear their minds and just went out there and played football the way that they know how to play. Wasn't great throughout the course of the game, but for the most part, it was pretty good. We went out there and we competed against a very good team. Again, that puts up points, whether it was running or throwing. And we held our end of the bargain. And, we didn't play a good first half, but second half we came out, played really well. I thought we had some chances where we could have made the game a lot closer than it showed. But again, that's on us as a coaching staff, as players. As I told them in the game, we just got to stop the mistakes that we have been creating, and that's continued to hurt ourselves. We have them, in the backfield. We don't make the tackle. We dropped a lot of balls. We gave the young buck Channing Dumas, the true freshman, came in and did well. We as I told the O-line and back, I said, you got to protect this young man. He's going to go out there. If you give him time to throw the ball, to read his keys, he was going to do that. He's a very smart kid. And again, we didn't execute on the opportunities that we had. And again, and that just comes with just dropping the balls. Again, not making tackles, having Lindsey sacked in the backfield several times, and but no, again, we played really good football against a good team in the second half, and but we got to get better. If we cut down on those type of mistakes, we can go far. We can go far.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. But for questions for Coach McDowell, first question goes to Dr.
Yeah, Eddie, Coach Rob has definitely been, he's a great guy, man, great coach, great athlete. We know they're going to have those guys ready to go. For us, again, that long trip, we want to get in there early. When we get there, get these kids rested, because we know that's a long trip. Getting Connolly back, that will give us a chance, now to really establish our running and passing game as well. We know that going in there, into their environment, they're going to be pumped. They can be ready to go as well as they should be. But again, we're going to get our guys ready to go as quickly as possible, try to get some of these injuries, get injury guys back and get them to practice in this week so they can, again, get some familiar with what they've been doing the last first game against TSU, and not the last 2 weeks with being out. So again, if we go in healthy, I think we got a really, really good chance of playing well against a good team. You know, athletes that can stretch the field, that can throw, that can run. You know, with his 11 personnel and 12 personnel. So we just got to go in, cut down on the mistakes that we've been hurting ourselves with, and I think it'll give us a good chance of coming out with the win. So we got to go in and, again, just do our job. You know, as the young guys say, you know, they do their 100. You know, everybody do their job first. You know, and then we should be okay. You know, and that's been the biggest thing with us. You know, we have issues where, again, we're okay for one half, then not the other half, then with the first or the second. So we can put things together for, you know, 4 quarters, as we've been talking about, preaching about, you know, cut down on the mistakes and the penalties. It's going to give us a really, really good chance of going in and trying to win this game against Alabama State and Coach Robinson and his team.
We played against a wonderful team coached by our dear friend Hugh Jackson, which he's come a long way from when he just inherited this team, and they're going to be something in the near future if they just allow him to do what he's capable of doing. We started out slow, had a tremendous amount of turnovers. Then we went into halftime and got it together and came out and played sound, fundamental football like we're capable of playing. We're happy and elated for the win. They created a tremendous challenge in the first half. They were dominant in the first half, a lot more than we were, but we got it together. We got a lot of talent, and it's very challenging for some of the players because they're not getting as much playing time as they would like, but that comes at practice. So if we don't see it at practice, we don't expect to see it in the game. Now, we're trying to figure out why we hadn't put it all together since playing against FAMU. Because there, we put it all together, offensively, defensively, special teams. Now we go and play it against Coach George's team. And it was just a lackluster, not effort, but we didn't put it together. Then we come this week and we have a dismal first half as well. It's almost like we think we're just going to roll out the football and that people are going to lay down for us. That's not how it's going to be. People are going to challenge us and they're going to come at us with everything they got. We're trying to figure out how to get off to a better start and eliminate some of the things that you've seen me constantly preach against: the fumbling, the offsides, the holding, the passing, the interception, the pass interferences, and all. We got to figure it out. Well, that's because there's only one guy that's on the line from last season that's starting, and that's our left tackle. So having those new faces and understand how we want to work, be cohesive, move the football. We dedicated to running the football, not just sitting back there thinking Shedeur is going to save us in the fourth quarter like he did last year. That's not going to happen. We really went out and addressed our issues of running the football, and as well as the running backs as well, and the tight ends. They're blocking their butts off. So this is truly a team effort. The coaches are doing a phenomenal job with emphasizing that in inside run drills as well at practice.
Talk about his contributions to the team and how physical of a style he runs the football.
Oh my God, he's very physical. He hits. He's decisive. One plant go, and he brings the tackle to you whether you want it or not. And it has ignited the offensive line because they know they have a few guys. We got a few guys that can hit it, but no one hits it like he's been hitting it. And I'm proud of him, man, because he's the quiet killer, man. He don't say much, worked his butt off, climbed up the depth chart, and when he got the opportunity, he took advantage of it.
Shedeur, man, he's on a whole nother level. Can you talk a little bit about Shedeur? 21 of 31, 357 and 4, just sizzling.
Yeah, he was a little off in the first half. He had some personal things on his mind that he needed to get off, so we got that straight at halftime. But if we protect this kid, we're going to see numbers like that every darn game. If we can run the football, we're going to see numbers like that every darn game. Hats off to Brett Bartolome. I mean, our offensive coordinator, he's doing a phenomenal job of dialing it up and knowing what Shedeur likes, what he doesn't like. And I got to give Shedeur a lot of credit. He gets us into plays and situations that we need to be in. Like, regardless if the play comes from the sideline, he can look at the defense and make sure we're calling the right thing. So he has the liberty to change what he wants to change. And he's been pretty successful thus far doing that. But I'm proud of him as a father, and I adore it as a coach.
It's all about Mississippi.
Well, I can't start off talking about this game without talking about my dear friend, Coach Dancey. You talking about a guy I love, I appreciate, and a guy that can coach his butt off. My God, it's unbelievable. I know he's going to come ready and prepared. His defense has a commitment to excellence. I know they've been through a rough patch in all facets of the program, but they will come ready to play. I promise you that.
And transfer Dallas Daniels. Can you speak about how he's been able to establish himself as one of the top receivers for your team?
When Dallas first got to Jackson State, he put his head down and went to work. Last week, he put his head down and went to work. The first week, he put his head down and went to work. The thing about Dallas Daniels is he's consistent with who he is. When you're consistent with who you are, the ball somehow finds you. And this kid is a pro. Every scout that comes in, I say, that is a pro. The way he goes about his job, the way he takes care of his body, the way he comes in and out of breaks, the way he catches the football, the guy is a pro. I just really requested that pro see more targets, because if he has more targets, he's going to put up numbers every week. The kid is phenomenal. He's a true problem to deal with. Coach Dancey is going to have this whole team ready and prepared, including special teams. Let's not forget special teams, because they could make or break you, and we're praying that they make us. Shedeur, his growth. I mean, you got to understand, he was a true freshman starting at quarterback, taking on this responsibility with the SWAC on his back because of some of the statements he made, but also being my son and playing for Jackson State. The kid led us to a darn SWAC championship. The kid had 30 touchdowns. The kid had, 3,000 yards or something close to it. He was phenomenal. I think before I went into the hospital, I think he only had like 4 interceptions or something like that. So his study habits, the way he approaches practice, the way he approaches the game, but the way he prepares, if you know how much time he puts in watching film and preparing, by the time we get to the game, he could look over that way and say, I know he's blitzed right there. And he checks us out of that play and put us in something that he desires for us to be in. But Coach Brett, that's been working with him diligently to make everything comfortable for him. And the more comfortable he is, the better we're going to go. When he goes, it's going to be hard to deal with us. And add on to that, we have a running game now. It's going to be hard to deal with it. And your defense is consistent with who they are. We had some hiccups last week, but they're going to be consistently getting us the ball back. And we have a plethora of receivers, running back that can pound it, a couple other backs that can dance and hit it when they need to. But this is a tremendous offense. It really is. Like last week, we just didn't punch it in the week before in Tennessee. We didn't punch it in, but we had over 400 yards of offense. We got a plethora of young people that just want to fit in with the crowd and the cliques and the whosoever wills. And they're forgetting that there's a level of commitment, there's a level of dominance, there's a level of perfection that you can claim if you desire it. When they're on their Instagram and they start to follow people, they should watch the patterns. If they're not leading you somewhere where you want to go, you need to start unfollow them because it don't make sense. So many leaders that are truly not leaders. I just say it like this. Just because you're walking in the front don't mean you lead. And we got a lot of youngsters following people walking in the front, and they ain't leaders. And I pray to God that we understand who, what, when, where, and how in some form or facet, because the young folks are our future, truly our future. And I'm willing to invest everything I got in.
Thank you, Coach. Safe travels.
Thank you. God bless y'all, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.